Me, what they're gonna watana. Why I want these things to be clear. Motor deka be demon because we only bandage, we don't heal ourselves. 40 meters this way, 40 meters that way, we compromise. I understand. The reason why we don't go is the country is small. Everybody knows the order. But that is what we have in Combo. What about in Fonyi? People are building, people are constructing, people are living here, going to buy in Fonyi, going to buy in Kiang on the road. What is the government mechanism doing to make sure those people, before they even buy now, to fences and whatever, permits that are issued, we have that there already. You cannot also sit here and say the government is everybody. No, I'm not paid by the government. I'm not the government. You are the one having the responsibility. We help you. Now, if you don't act, you cannot blame me. We can only blame you because you are the one who is there, permanent secretary, director, minister. And all this mess happened because those that should have taken the right decisions at the right time never did it. So now we have certain parts in this country, new construction for some level be for. What are we doing as a ministry to make sure we dem for you digenda see you on maybe 10 million buy muham nakala approval nakala to get phone development come for some bini. How do we make sure we compensate those people? So government non la de we understand that. But I have not had you ask or tell me what interventions you are doing for people going to Kiam, for people going to some other places, buying land on the main road. Because the way government operates in this country is wasteful, is inefficient. Because you are giving permits without even going to NEA for environmental assessment. So government doing take MC the president, the 4 years that are congested. You have to demolish 7,000 houses and you have to compensate them. How can you do it? The problem then is with the previous government because you fail. And that's our point. So we don't want the Home Ministry, NRA, or other departments that are relevant to concentrate in here. But what do we do in Fonyi? What do we do in Java? What do we do in Kiang, in Bassett? That is what we want. Also in terms of priorities. I always, man, what is wrong with people coming up with cameras? A lot of these boys will be spoiling our road. I agree 100%. But then what if surveillance so what is the ministry doing to make sure I'm a sort of surveillance so police NRA make sure you am camera at certain places? Because every now and then you get this doing their thing. That is also not good because you're not Don't you think we should have surveillance? You are doing a great job and we commend the president, we commend your team for the road construction across the board. Yes, we have quality issues. But then I also wonder, what are the criteria that you follow to prioritize road construction? Komnunkowahe is right, densely populated this area. But why? It's still the problem of the government. If we don't decentralize services, people get hospitals. Why wouldn't they come to Combo? So this is what the government is a holistic thing, a holistic approach. If you want to prevent people from coming to Combo, they must be able to have surgery in Biam. That way, they will not come here. Right. So it's not your point only, but I'm looking at it from a perspective. And what should you people do to make sure in Fonyi, in Kiang, and other places? All right. And time is not there.
So maybe if I can just respond to you just quickly. Okay. So there are two things that you talked about. Yes, you are right. In terms of areas where we are constructing new roads, we actually have a defined road reserve that says if this is a single carriageway or a dual carriageway, this is the road reserve. But you have to also acknowledge, you talk about permits. Yes, the system of permit is there. But how many people do you know actually apply for permits? And today, you saw the evidence when they were doing the Operation Clear the Roads. How many structures were there that have 0 permits and have not gone through the due process? That is not because they don't know that there's a permit system. It's because we as a citizens, we choose to ignore it and not comply with what is the law. And this is what I'm saying, that we are all part of the government. Because when you talk about development, it's for what? When the road is there, it's for the people. The people that benefit. There is no control as to who drives on the road, who doesn't drive on the road. It's for the people. There's control. No, I'm saying in terms of, there might be vehicle control or categorical controls, but there's no control to say, okay, he can drive, you cannot drive, he can drive. There's nothing like that. Let me explain. We all benefit from the infrastructural development. So we all have a right to make sure that when we are actually doing something which is an individual objective, that we in turn comply with the regulations and the rules. And I can tell you in a lot of these developments, if you ask them for permits, they have 0 permits. And we found that because when we were doing the battle hardening, we went to all the properties affected. And we had to get or ask them to show us permits. And I can tell you a lot of them did not have permits to show because it was not approved. So it was an individual decision to go and do something. And what I'm saying is that that ends up costing all of us. And sometimes what I'm saying is, yes, you can have enforcement, but enforcement also has to go with us sensitizing our people to try and avoid doing these things in the first place, because we all know that when we go there, let's say we demarcate and say, okay, this is 10 meters here and 10 meters here, we should respect that. You understand? And that's critical. So then the other thing that you talked about is in terms of, I think you talked about the quality of the road. And you were talking about obviously how we are, if I understand right.
The criteria.
The criteria.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
It makes sense to me economically.
Mr.
For example, you are constructing the roads all over.
Yeah.
I understand. That is commendable. But let's say if you are constructing a road somewhere and it generates you from transport, all right, because of the multiplier effect, it generates you, let's say, 50,000. But there is just this road here that generates you 100 million. But you left that and went to construct 50,000 road, a road that will generate you 50,000 in a year.
Yes.
So to me, it doesn't make much sense. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
No, but that's why Lolala explained, you get develop asset inventory that tells us initially where the roads are, what type of roads are in condition, which is already in progress, and that's in the final stages.
After 50 years of independence as a country.
Yeah.
Yes,
you can say yes. That is the right statement.
Because wow. Yeah, okay.
We are not serious.
Yeah, Mr. Omar, okay.
Waaw lu ma si bëgg a wax rek mooy bariwut Gambia plan la amut. And loolu doo mën a blame this regime. Loolu since at the beginning la. Gambia plan la amut ku si yaa ngi ko amee wala tey mun neen tabax seen fenn si diggi mbedd sax duñ ko xam. So physical plan tam they want to play in role. More a proper civil education dafa war a am. Because yaa ngi woon mbiri permit ñaari ñoo xam ne nag dañ war a am permit. Amee duñ ko xamuñ ko sax. So rest the role of the civil education ñu waxtaan ak Gambian si nanga soo waree na nga war a apply na nga war a amee permit yu dafa war a am. Boo da ngaa gis ne physical plan ñoom dañ war a play seen role. Because ñu bëri tey ni ngay am kër sax demuñ physical plan dañu ñëw daal di man fii laa sànni xeer bi fii laa war a block mu continuer. So sànni xeer am na fi. Understand gis naa loolu yëpp so xam nga yooyu yëpp moo tax ma ne Gambia amul plan moo amul si dëkk bi loolu mooy dëgg we dañu nanga ko bëgg nañ ko plan mooy suñu problème ak masla mooy suñu problème xam nga kii suma PS suma xarit la xarama waxa PS mun nañ ko def nii so yooyu moo yaaxa dëkk bi an foog naa ne lu ñu war a def mooy physical plan ñoo war a door di waxtaana ci foo ko xam ne Gambien nga civil education dafa war a am soo amee kër damal physical plan mu woon la fa la sa kër am fan nga war a fence yooyu yëpp moo tax si yàggee si nekkee ñi ngay liggéey tali nga génne si ko tali bi suñ ko daanee la sa kenn warul laa compliqué bu ko already wax ne la fii nga war a am loolu mooy dégg